Welcome to episode 12 of Tailgate Update. Let's crack open a six pack, y'all. Start things off. Got NFL injuries. Palooza. We got like 10 injuries right now that are like for multiple weeks at any given. Like it's kind of crazy. Brandon Ayuk out for potentially a couple weeks. Carolina Panthers, Bryce Young out 1 to 2 weeks. I almost said Charles Barkley.
Close enough.
Saquon Barkley.
He is out.
Both are out. Charles Barkley is out indefinitely. Saquon is out for another couple weeks, following 3 weeks if you included the Thursday night game that they just played. With an ankle sprain, Nick Chubb goes without saying he's done. Buddy's leg is cooked. I ain't gonna lie, I'm getting cooked.
Okay, like watching that made me almost like lose my dinner, and I'm not really that sensitive about that kind of stuff, but it'll haunt me forever. It was worse than Joe Burrow's knee, which I didn't know, or leg, which I didn't know was possible. So,
did you think that they should have shown it on the replay on live TV?
I mean, they won't even show somebody getting socked in the face, so it doesn't surprise me that they didn't show that. But I have the sports medicine doctor on YouTube that we mentioned last week. He always likes to zero in and then like go back and forth and zoom in and like do it over and over so that you could like feel it. It's so intense. So if you want to get that experience, Dr. Sutter.
That's the same knee that Chubb hurt back in 2015 when he's playing at Georgia, except that time his knee basically folded forward instead of backward. That was
and to the side, not just one direction. It was like multiple directions. So this knee went. Oh
man, his leg is dumb, bro. That's so bad. Imagine
people on Twitter like trying to fault Fitzpatrick for that injury, and it's like, what could he have done? He made a split decision to go low. You're not going to tackle Chubb high.
No,
you barely tackle him going low.
I was surprised that he even had a knee afterwards. I expected like a big blob, like a new joint situation, and then he was holding it. I'm like, that still looks like a knee after all of that.
Yeah, I don't know how that didn't like shoot out of his freaking socks.
Something needs to be like sticking out, or it needs to look like a completely different joint. I don't know. Yeah.
Can you imagine what that would do to one of our legs though? Like that dude has got tree trunks for legs.
I dislocated my kneecap twice, so I have a little bit of an idea. Maybe it hurts bad. In case you were wondering, I'll leave out the details, but it was fucking awful.
Kind of weird too. He's kind of just like sitting there holding it, like
probably in shock that it bended so many different ways.
He's like, did that just happen? Trayvon Diggs, Cowboys corner, tears his ACL a day after his birthday. Cowboys, better luck next year. That's a wrap. Call it quits. Speaking of Cowboys, I guess Micah Parsons is playing tight end at practice a little bit recently. So look out for a Micah Parsons package on the goal line.
Oh, dear goodness.
Bears suck, but their starting left tackle just hit the IR this week, out for at least 4 weeks. Not to be season ending. Guess his neck, something happened. Don't know. Tevin Jenkins, their starting left guard, is out on IR for 4 weeks. So that kind of leads us perfectly into a Bears segment here for a minute. I just need 5 minutes to vent. It's been a hard week, to say the least, as a Bears fan. Bears are a dumpster fire. I don't know what else to say. So all within about 2 or 3 hours, the Justin Fields saga really blew up. completely taken out of context, in my opinion. A lot of the beat reporters for the Chicago Bears really screwed him, I think, and basically just publishing one word of the quote, which was coaching. When asked why he thought he was being more robotic, my opinion, I think he's just a young quarterback that is struggling and is being asked to do something that he hadn't been asked to do yet, which is essentially just be a pocket passer strictly. And they've kind of taken away the rolling out to one side, cutting the field in half, getting him out in space. And when they have tried to get him out in space, they've designed it so poorly. It's a joke. Go watch the quarterback school, his YouTube channel, and he breaks it down really well. Fields is definitely at fault for a lot of what's going on, but he's not the problem. It's bullshit. And now everybody's running with it, and people are saying Fields throwing his coaches under the bus, and that's not what you do. And I don't think that's what he's doing at all. He definitely, and he went back after practice once he saw it happen on Twitter, and he went back and took full responsibility and kind of put the reporters in check that need to be put in check. Typical Dan Weir bullshit. Just anything to make the Bears organization look bad. He pretty much gets off on that stuff. But then Bears defensive coordinator Alan Williams resigns amid a whole slew of rumors. Supposedly he's under investigation. One clown came out and said that House Hall was raided and his home was raided and that Eberflus was crying and this whole thing. And it's just a kind of a joke. Alan Williams put out a statement saying he's resigned for personal health and family reasons, and he feels it's the best time to take care of things. Then he has an attorney now who claimed that House Hall was not raided, but did not say that Alan Williams' personal home was not raided. So that leads me to believe that maybe that was the case. And then the Bears released a statement on Twitter that couldn't have been more cold, which also allows me to believe that it was not health related. And now we don't even have our lawn mowing equipment this week. It was recently stolen. Like, we don't even have lawnmowers, guys. Like that's how down bad we are right now. Thank God we're playing at KC this week instead of playing at Soldier Field because we don't have anything to cut the grass. Well, Ryan Poles is to bring out his own weed whacker. And mind you, all this happened on the Bears GM's birthday. So hopefully it's so bad. And
can't find the end zone as it is. Just imagine if they couldn't mow the grass. It'd be even harder on them.
Maybe it'll muck it up for the other team. Maybe we'll trip and fall and we'll stumble our way into the end zone as well. I don't know. It's just a mess. And I'm down so bad. The Illinois just they've had a rough start. The Cubs are just falling apart at the seams, and I'm hanging on by a thread. So check on your loved ones,
Hang in
there, and better NFC North news. The Vikings and Rams made a trade for Cam Akers. Ryan, I don't know if you're a big fan of Cam Akers, but it sounds like it was just a pick swap of later picks in 2025, I think.
Yeah. Oh, 2026, actually.
26, okay.
Yeah. One was 25 and one was 26. It was stupid.
A couple late round swaps, like really, I mean, seems worthless. There's some Viking fans that aren't fans of it, which I don't understand.
It was just to get Cam Akers out of the way. He started his bullshit again like he did last year. Thinks he's going back, but he gets 22 carries, is only 29 yards, while Kyron Williams gets 14 and picks up 52. And he scores twice.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, Cam's been in the league for a while now, and he had one good year, didn't he?
Kinda. He was injured to start his rookie year.
Isn't he only like 22? Like
23, 24, something like that.
He's a baby. What do you mean has he had a good year? He's only had like 3. 2.
Technically, he's only had a year and a half because he missed 1 year due to a ruptured Achilles, which
Oh,
he
I
came
know,
back.
because we just keep talking about how Aaron Rodgers is going to go to the same doctor that he did. That's the most I know about Akers now, because everybody keeps talking about it, because he's the fastest fastest player to recover and come back to the NFL ever with that particular injury. And that's cool and all, but the only thing that ever enters into my mind is Caleb describing his muscle, or in his Achilles, as coiling.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Still has lived rent free in my mind for a week.
Yeah, I don't mind the move. Minnesota can have him. I hope he flourishes because he's on my fantasy team. But as of right
I hope not.
now, as of right now, Minnesota needs a running back. They got to do something because the guy they got has been absolutely booty to start the year.
Yeah,
Looking to get a jump start. Not really gonna be patient with him, I guess. And Kyron Williams has been tearing it up in LA for the first 2 weeks of the season. And even going back to last year's rookie year, he looked way better than Cam Akers did.
Yeah, just looks more.
It's a no-brainer, and it's all on Cam Akers. He could have stayed in LA. He could have shared carries with Kyron Williams, but he's got too much of an ego, I guess. And Sean had enough of his bullshit and sent his ass packing.
That'll happen. You can't, like, if there's one thing, like, as a running back, you gotta keep that ego in check, man. Like,
yeah,
there's like maybe 3 or 4 guys that can have big egos at that position.
Especially if you're in a Sean McVay system that loves to use 2 backs since Gurley left. We've had to use 2 running backs.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't exactly had that explosive dude. And one guy's outperforming you. You can't sit there and bitch and complain because somebody's outperforming you. Work harder. Get better. You're running behind the same O-line. Come on.
Hit the hole and bounce, baby.
I would say, like, there's not a whole lot of rookies that can afford to have that attitude in general, or not rookies, but like early in the league. Like, you have to have a seniority and have like a consistent, like, evidence that you're really, really good for years before you can develop any kind of an attitude, and that can still impact you down the road. Like Ezekiel Elliott is feeling the impact. It was hard for D-Hop to find a team, and we heard he was hard to work with. So even then, like, it's not always for sure that you can have an attitude when you are further in the league, but you certainly can't have it when you're that young.
Yeah, I agree. Last thing in the NFL, Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch both signed multi-year extensions for the 49ers. You guys are a lot more in tune with the 49ers than I am. I feel like the Shanahan signing is a good idea. I'm not so sure about the Lynch extension, considering of where the quarterback situation has landed. Feels a lot like a Chris Ballard deal in Indianapolis, where he builds a really good team around him, but cannot figure out that quarterback position. I don't know.
I want to see the 49ers burn, so it's fine.
As do I. I'm sick of the Niners. I'm sick of Brock Purdy. I'm just done.
I don't ever want to see them again.
Everything is Niners this, Niners that, but they get to the playoffs and they choke now. And all I hear from Niners fans is 5 rings.
How do you how do you justify trading 3 first-round picks for Trey Lance? Like that, how is that not a fireable offense? Let alone we're going to extend you now after you just dumped them for a 4th-round pick. Like, that's all you're able to recoup from the whole thing. That's terrible.
Yeah, I don't know. So they got extended, which is, well, good for them because Lynch just freed up $41 million worth of cap space for this year, and it rolls over to next year if they don't use it. So good for them. They're going to be able to pay everybody and keep everybody around for at least 2 years.
Yeah.
And Mahomes actually just got restructured.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just got restructured. He's now going to receive $210.6 million between 2023 and 2026. The most money ever in a 4-year span. It's fully guaranteed, and they plan to revisit the agreement, Mahomes and the front office for Casey, in 2026. and the contract runs through 2031. So we're gonna be stuck with Mahomes, the dynasty, even longer. How is it I have to go through this shit twice in my lifetime? I got stuck with Brady in New England. Now it's Mahomes in KC.
Well,
What do I gotta
see.
do?
I mean, we'll see how long they can keep that whole gang together. I mean, Travis Kelsey's getting older, and he's going to demand a lot of money.
It don't matter. Come on. You just saw what they did last year without Reek. The
I
Cheetah was
know.
gone. They
We
won.
saw it, like without Travis Kelsey this year.
Yeah, they sucked without Travis. Yeah,
Yeah, they did.
they're still kind of meh with Travis.
Man, yeah. I think that they'll pick it up this week. Trust me.
Yeah.
This is just
If
Caleb.
the Bears go, if the Bears go into the kingdom and like air up Mahomes, I'm gonna be a little upset.
I
Don't
will
give me.
try, but it'll be in joy.
I will take that tiniest ever so slight sliver of hope, and buddy, I will convince myself by tomorrow afternoon that the Bears are going to win 40-17. So,
How many drinks is that gonna take?
Might want to tip a couple of cores back.
there ain't it, honestly.
They're going down smooth today, aren't they?
They will tomorrow, for better or worse.
What are we gonna do when Mahomes rules the country? Look, I would rather him own Twitter than Elon Musk. He'll probably be like the next Jeff Bezos because not only is he rich as fuck, but he also has is really smart about getting all these like brand deals and like investing in things. Like they're gonna have generational wealth for like decades. Like I mean, not even decade, like centuries. And so, well, what's the world gonna look like when Patrick
If
Mahomes?
Mahomes was to own Twitter or X or whatever it's called these days, he would not, on no doubt, put Jackson Mahomes as like
Yeah,
or whatever you'd call it. So I don't want
Mahomes is gonna be in prison soon, isn't he?
that one is. Yeah.
I mean, they got cell phones, they're having gourmet meals, they got TVs, like it's
Bro, Jackson Mahomes is gonna be in our true crime segment here very shortly.
can't wait. Can't wait.
Can't wait either. But we gotta talk about a little something though up in Cincinnati there, Caleb. Joe Burrow.
What are you talking about? I mean, Joe Burrow, Joey Ice.
Joey Ice.
I mean, is he in or is he out this week? I don't know.
We don't know. They won't say. All I know is that his owner picked him up on a golf cart while the team was stretching, did a slow 360 on the golf cart, dropped him off, and Joe didn't look too happy and went back to stretching with the team.
That tells me he's probably not playing Sunday.
Yeah. And as of
But
I think it was Tuesday when I took some notes down. Zach Taylor says, hard to say if Joe Burrow will play Monday night versus the Rams. He's still dealing with the calf injury. Taylor is still up in the air on resting Burrow. Says it depends on advice of medical staff. Taylor felt great about Burrow's health leading into Week 2's matchup versus Baltimore. Also wanted to say that if it came down to it and the Bengals had the possession for the last possession of the game, Burrow would have went back into the game. But now all of a sudden they're looking at putting him on IR.
Look, the offense has looked, and it can be his calf, it maybe not. The whole thing just looks bad. I mean, at 35 passing yards in the first half last week. 35.
Yeah, he had 82 week 1, right?
Yeah. So in the first 6 quarters of the season this year, he had 117 passing yards. Like dude, come on. But it did seem like they kind of picked it up a little bit toward the end of the game. But I don't know. I think that for longevity of his health and maybe for the season, sit him a couple weeks. You guys don't look great anyway. Just what are you gaining right now by forcing the issue before you end up having them for no games for the rest of the year?
Right. But I really want to know what the Bengals owner said because Joe didn't look too happy.
Probably that he's gonna have to take a pay cut.
He told them they can't afford T. Higgins.
Hey, but
Yeah.
clear yet, man. So
Your productivity is not matching your contract, so we're gonna have to.
The ink's already dry on that contract, so
it's he'll be fine. Long but I definitely think that they need to take the decision out of his hands because he's a gamer. You know, he wants to play.
yeah, he's always going to play.
So I think that's them telling him, "Hey, we're just gonna shut it down for a week or two. Let you get healed up, and we'll see." I was trying to scour on Twitter for the Bengals injury report right before this. I couldn't officially find it. I guess their Twitter team doesn't post that like the Bears do. So
No, because the Bears Twitter team wants to make sure everybody knows why the Bears suck. We're missing all of our players.
we need every crutch we can get, man. Somebody stole all of ours.
Yeah, I mean, they stole 100K worth of crutches, I guess. If the Bears aren't going to steal wins at Soldier Field, somebody better be stealing something there.
That's facts. Someone got them nice zero turns, and I mean, I am furious for their luck. I'm furious.
And apparently, no arrests have been made yet, so they're out there just motoring around with a ride behind lawnmower, or ride along lawnmower they called it.
Look out for your local lawn care companies and see if they've got any recent upgrades at their mowing equipment.
Oh yeah, just got tax break 20 this year.
Yeah, they'll write it off.
Oh, absolutely.
Is that do it for the NFL?
Yeah, I think we can kind of slide into the college football, can't we?
Former. And then, would you imagine that? Our next topic, Mel Tucker, former Bears defensive coordinator, was awful. I mean, they legit gave up like 35 points a game when he was the defensive coordinator for 2 years. It was, I mean, holy smokes.
When was that?
I think officially out at Michigan State, right?
Michigan State wrote him a letter stating that they have intentions to terminate his contract for cause. They said, quote, a body of undisputed evidence of misconduct that warrants termination was cited as the cause.
So he flexed at his job?
Probably, I don't know.
That's what I got from that. I think that's what they're trying to say.
I didn't exactly dig too deep into it because,
it's a mess. It's an absolute dumpster fire.
I was too busy for other shit this week.
MSU needs to be careful. They might get themselves in an issue. And the way one attorney was speaking when I was listening to it is if they're not careful, they could legitimately end up paying out double what his salary would have been over the course of his contract. So 2 years ago, he signed a 10-year, $90 million deal to extend with Michigan State after they had like their huge run. What's the running back you guys have? Julie Walker.
Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, he single-handedly got Mel Tucker paid. So after that, last year they had an abysmal year. I think they missed a bowl game. This year, terrible as well. So there's a conspiracy theory that maybe they're trying to push him out, but yeah, Julie, Ryan, I would strongly, this could be a good true crime segment, really, because it's pretty messy and there's a lot of allegations with Mel Tucker and a female on the staff.
When are you going to get involved in true crime there, Caleb?
I'm not going to. Not my lane, brother.
Too much shit going on with that, huh?
So apparently he tried to take FMLA leave, I believe it's called, and they essentially immediately fired him instead of waiting. There's supposed to be a court hearing and all sorts of investigations going on that they were going to hold on to him. He's paid administrative leave correctly, right? I believe right now. The whole thing's a disaster, total disaster. Now they got like Mark Nantoni is back coaching, and I'm loving it as an Illinois fan. I think it's hilarious.
Super hilarious.
But
I don't like how they wrote him a letter. Why don't you just like call him into the office, be like, hey, I think we're gonna terminate your contract there, guy. Unless they just want a written proof of them
I
saying it.
think
Could be.
probably to be official written, it's got to be. I don't even know if he's allowed in the building anyway right now.
Oh, okay. Even a
Um,
phone call, maybe. I feel like a
uh,
letter kind of weak for this.
I don't think he really deserves that. Honestly, I don't.
I
If
might be. I don't know. I might be an old head on this one because, like, I just feel like if you're gonna fire somebody, do it in a manner that's professional rather than just writing them a letter and saying, "Hey, you're fired."
Yeah, that's professional in a different way, just a very passive aggressive one.
Yeah,
it was
I don't know. Where's your cojones on that one? You know?
very, yeah, I don't think it's a constant thing. Really, I don't. It's a disaster. Like the whole thing's just a disaster. It's on both sides. It's just does not look good for the program at all, and they're probably going to struggle for a while because of it. Kind of like Northwestern, just not good at all. Big Ten having some issues. But kind of goes back to the like same thing with Babcock. Like, just don't be weird and do your job. Probably will about the life of your contract.
Is that your way of going into Mike Babcock or
Yeah.
okay? I'll
No,
start the
I
timer.
generally think that that's some pretty wise words for life, Caleb.
It is really. I mean,
Oh,
don't be
yeah,
weird.
this whole Babcock thing we talked about last week.
Yeah.
Resigns earlier this week. I think it was Monday. He resigned after he's being investigated for inappropriate behavior, I guess, towards his players. And surprise, surprise, the Blue Jackets admit the front office. They admit they made a mistake in hiring Babcock. Management apologized to players privately and publicly to critics. Babcock was hired in July, mind you, and resigns before the season even starts.
it's
They
September.
said, quote, "We went through a process earlier this summer prior to hiring Mike Babcock as our head coach, but we got it wrong, and that's on us." John Davidson, team president. Pascal Vincent takes over as the new head coach of the Columbus Blue Jackets.
I'm guessing he was already on the staff.
I would assume so, yeah. They didn't say in the article that he was on the staff or not, but
This hire reminds me of obviously different ending reasons for it ending was when the Bears hired John Fox. Like I feel like the Blue Jackets just hired a known commodity and a popular name, and we're just kind of hoping it would stick. So Babcock, obviously way out of his prime. John Fox was way out of his prime in terms of like where the league was at and where he was at.
yeah,
It just did not mesh well at all, either one of them.
it might be the same situation of what Tony La Russa went through in Chicago.
Could be, yeah.
Because Tony La Russa is one of the greatest managers of all time, and he didn't do anything without a good roster.
That's probably a better analogy, I would imagine. Because he was out of the game for a couple of years too.
Couple of years, he was out of the game for like 10 years.
Well, he was the Angels bench coach though.
Who?
With Madden.
La Russa?
Yeah.
He was in the front office in Arizona for a while.
He worked with the Angels. He was one of like the assistants or whatever.
Was he?
Most recently before, or might have been right before Arizona, but
I don't recall that.
yeah. Well, it's the Angels, so like nobody really pays attention.
Yeah, nobody pays attention to the Angels except when they're talking about Shohei. But this Babcock thing is kind of irritating. He asked players to show pictures of his family just to strike up with a conversation and get to know his players. It's his first gig in the league since 2019.
Yeah.
A couple of the guys didn't mind it, and apparently the new age players thought, "Oh, this is invasion of my privacy. How dare you?"
I just feel like there's got to be something more still, or like
Gotta be.
There's got to be.
Did somebody?
It's not enough to elicit that kind of a response. I mean, it's not even like there has to be something else, or the way that he went about it, or maybe he was like digging in their phones and saw their wives or something like.
Maybe he made it pass with their wives.
something had to have happened.
Could be.
Because
I
that
mean,
just doesn't seem. Maybe he said something because they said his like he was old fashioned or something. Like maybe he was like did something problematic, like old school coaching techniques that were problematic. I don't know, but it has to be something more than just the photo thing.
it's got to be something more, but we're not finding it.
But they might not want to go about saying it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows? All I know is Mike Babcock's done in Columbus before he even gets started.
That is definitely one of the weird things, and I will be looking forward to more coming out on it because it just kind of doesn't add up. But
Yeah.
moving on to Major League Baseball, got most teams have 8 to 10 games remaining before postseason kicks off. So Ryan, you were saying that MLB is looking at running their normal pitch clock, or are they going to maintain what they've done all year?
So I just got a thing yesterday that said MLB to use neutral pitch clock operators in postseason.
Oh, okay. So like it would be a third party, not from like Cubs are hosting the Cardinals. It wouldn't be the Cubs pitch clock operator that would be running it. It would just be
More than likely, I would assume.
okay. That checks makes sense. Probably how it should be anyway. But
Right.
Yeah. Here, let me. You guys can continue on with the conversation. I'm going to try to figure out what this actually means
Or
because
we
I have
can do an
no
Um,
earthly
ahead.
idea what the hell that means.
yeah, I don't. I think that's all probably means. But Shohei Ohtani has surgery on his UCL. He shut it down last week, and looks like they got a good jump on the surgery and rehab process. Now will begin, and he's still not going to pitch in 2024. I don't know how that's going to affect his contract whenever he signs or who he's going to sign with. I'd imagine he's going to take a bit of a hit because there's still no guarantee that he's ever going to pitch the same. I mean, I know guys always come back from it and do okay, but you're talking about a guy that's going to DH every single day and pitch at the same time. It's kind of a lot for a player. I mean, 162 games is a lot anyway, and then you kind of basically double duty it. All the bullpen sessions and stuff you got to throw throughout the year, and yeah, I don't know.
Well, he's gonna be ready to hit for opening day next year. Who he signs with, no one's gonna know because it's gonna impact him severely in contract discussions and the winter meetings because it's the fact that he can't pitch till 2025.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and he's a dual threat. People are gonna want that. That's pretty much what makes him the best player in the league in most people's eyes because he can carry 2.8 to a 3 ERA and hit 310 with 50 bombs. So
yeah.
who knows what's going to happen?
I don't think he signs with Los Angeles again. The fact that they're putting Mike Trout back on the trade block for the year or this coming off season, I don't see them doing it. They've been burnt so many times by big time contracts that just quite didn't pan out correctly. Anthony Rendon being the most recent one. But I don't think they afford him anyway. I mean, the dude is going to demand probably north of 450 million. If he would have been healthy at the end of the year and didn't have surgery on his UCL and would be able to pitch next year, I think that he'd be north of 500 million. But I would definitely look for New York to be in the mix, the Dodgers to be in the mix. Rangers just seem like they just do not care and will throw money at anything. The other New York team, the Mets, will probably be in the mix. Milwaukee Brewers will not be in the mix because they're a poverty franchise. Chicago Cubs very well could be. They don't have any huge contracts, and they got some money to spend. They've been pretty frugal the past couple of years outside of the Dansby contract. So we'll see what happens. Last thing on MLB, they will be voting on the Oakland A's still right now.
Yeah.
We'll be voting shortly after the World Series ends in mid-November on whether or not they're going to allow for relocation.
Yep.
I sincerely hope that they don't. I really don't.
Really?
Yeah. I absolutely look. We got like a Dan Snyder type situation, I feel like, except this guy is not necessarily a sleazeball in his personal life, but I think he's like, have you seen Major League? You've seen Major League.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like he's intentionally
Oh, okay.
guys into the ground so that
Yeah.
way they have like, that's what it feels like.
He's just not a showgirl, so
Huh?
he's just not an former showgirl.
Yeah, that's the only difference.
Yeah.
Not nearly as handsome.
No, I suppose not.
But I just sell the freaking team, man. Like, and like, you really think that you're going to generate that many more fans in Las Vegas? Like,
I don't know. Is Vegas a bigger market?
Has it been working for the other former Oakland team?
not really.
Yeah.
Raiders still suck, so I mean,
Like, if the Raiders don't pull as much, granted, I don't know. It's only snippets, it's only like screenshots basically of the stadium, but any shot I see is like it's mostly the other team's fans that are going in there. Las Vegas is a destination, but it's a destination for the entire country, not for Las Vegas. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
well, revenue is revenue.
Huh?
Revenue is revenue. Doesn't matter.
It is, but it just feels like everything's being subsidized by the city of Las Vegas and Major League Baseball.
Money.
I don't think it's actually going to generate anything for them.
No, but
More money.
here's the thing. Nobody wants to go to Oakland as a free agent. They don't want to pay anybody.
Well, that's because they won't pay anybody. That's why I think
Exactly.
that you know how many freaking like studs they've had.
Mhm.
Just, holy smokes, dude! Chapman, Olsen, go back to freaking Moneyball era with McGuire and Canseco, and dude, it's just been.
They let Giambi walk, and he was pretty bad first baseman. Damon left for Boston. They just don't pay guys.
They don't, and that's why like there needs to be some level of like a competitive clause. Like NFL, you have to spend a minimum.
Really?
Yeah, you can't go over the max, but you have to spend a minimum. So there needs to be something similar in baseball, and they don't even have a cap.
No, there's a luxury tax. Nobody wants to pay the luxury tax.
There's 4 or 5 teams every year that are willing to do it.
Yeah. LA is one of them. New York's one of them.
If they know they're going to be competitive, like truly competitive. But yeah, I don't like the ownership there. It needs to change. The fans hate them. Like they are refusing to go to games right now.
Yeah, they're boycotting Oakland A's baseball because of ownership.
They have a right to. But this thing that's going to suck is that the Major League Baseball and the A's are going to use this as an opportunity to be like, see, nobody wants to show up. Nobody supports us here. When in reality, they just put out for once like a damn good product that they don't luck into every once in a while.
They were pretty good for 4 or 5 years of the 2010s. So
yeah,
and they've been bad ever since.
The epic wild card game with Kansas City. Before I think Kansas City ended up winning the World Series that year. Actually,
the next year they won the World Series.
Was it the next year?
They lost the 7 that year to the Giants. That was the even year curse.
That was the even year. Cubs broke that way.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, that was fun. But hopefully they don't pass it. They're going to pass it though.
They need 75% to pass, and I'm indifferent to it. I think it'd be stupid because it's just ownership, but it's Oakland, and nobody really cares about Oakland anyways.
It's just like the Bay Area itself, like just getting crushed.
If you're not the Warriors, nobody cares.
But even they've recently relocated though, right? Within the past 5 years, like they're no longer but wherever their old arena was, I don't remember, but
They're still in Oakland, pretty sure.
I'd have to look. Might be right. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Like, why is everything got to go to Vegas? Like, not everything needs to be in Vegas.
That'd be
You
three
got
teams in Vegas.
you got a football team, you got a freaking hockey team.
Yeah.
Just leave it alone. You
Well,
don't need.
here's the thing: the market in California is saturated. You got the Dodgers, you got the Giants, you got the A's. Plus, you have umpteen hockey teams. You got the Rams and you got the Niners in California.
I think that you're really banking on tourists going to a baseball game while they're in Vegas. That's what you're banking.
Maybe, quite possibly, but like I said, money's money to these owners, and they don't care.
I
At
mean, I
81
lived
games.
in New Orleans for quite some time, and it's also sort of a Vegas of the South or whatever, and they have an extremely faithful fan base. I know it's a different state situation, but I mean, even though it's considered a highly tour destination location, like they also have like a really thriving fan base, so I think it could be possible.
It could, but I mean, granted, how long have the Saints been in New Orleans though? I mean,
Yeah, and everyone hated them for a very long time, so that's been
you're like as an A's fan, like how pissed are you going to be when they pull your team out of your? I mean, just like Chargers fans were. How pissed are you going to be about that? And then I'm not. If I'm an A's fan, I'm not going to go watch my team play in Las Vegas. Like screw that.
yeah.
And I think that most of the fans are going to think that way. They're just going to adopt a different team.
And that's what Rams fans did when they left LA the first time. And then when they left LA in '95, a lot of fans were either forced to go be a St. Louis Rams fan, be a Niners fan, or be a Raiders fan. And a lot of teams picked the Niners. A lot of guys and people picked the Niners.
Which is crazy considering the rivalry there. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. I think you're killing a city that's already struggling by doing that.
Yeah.
But anyway, enough of that.
Showdowns, Caleb.
Get some showdowns.
Showdown.
Welcome to the showdown.
Gong me.
All right, what do you got this, dude?
All right.
Let's do it. Lay it on me.
All right, let's crack open that 6 of the 6-pack. Saturday Showdown number 1. Who would you rather have back you up in a barroom brawl? A. Aaron Donald. B. Ron Artest. C. Carlos Zambrano. Or D. Chris Pronger.
I'm taking Big Z, dude. Oh man,
he's undefeated against coolers.
Dude, he hope piece of Gatorade cooler up, man. that Gatorade cooler ordered a 2-piece and a biscuit.
You made a very gender excluding situation here, because why in God's name would I be bar brawling with men against men? Like, if I'm fighting someone in a bar, it's probably going to be a woman, and I would want a woman to fight with me, right? Like, because I'm not trying to have a man like lay hands on the woman that I'm fighting. I don't think you thought about that.
Okay, let's just say you accidentally get hit by some drunk dude in a bar. Starts a brawl. Who do you want you having your back?
That implies that I'm gonna fight back in general, because it's somebody having my back, so that means that I initiate a fight.
No, you just got knocked over.
You just got knocked over and
by a jerk. and
you start throwing hands because you're pissed off.
You could just have like this guy sees that and he's just pissed. Now he's gonna go beat this guy's ass.
Yeah. So okay, you get hit by somebody and this guy sees it. Who you want?
This is a horrible.
I think it's great. I mean, Big Z is just gonna lose his freaking mind.
Yeah, somebody's gonna go to jail because somebody like dumped their drink on me. Like, what in the hell?
Yeah.
But if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna beat his ass, and I'm not gonna make somebody else go to jail for it. And I'm probably not gonna, well, yeah, I'm definitely not gonna fight dudes in a bar or even like initiate a conflict with someone I barely know who is supposed to have my back. Look, the hypothesis is dumb, Ryan.
Hypothesis?
Yeah, your question is dumb.
It wasn't a hypothesis. It was hypothetical.
My beer brawling against men with giant athletes around me for some
Okay.
clear reason.
All right, Julie. You can exclude yourself from it if you'd like.
Look, give me some ladies next time, and then we can have a real situation here. Because I mean, I don't know. I want that one chick in the UFC.
Oh,
Ronda Rousey or Nunes?
Yeah, that Amanda Nunes, right? Yeah, I want her.
Okay, you can have her.
Yeah, that is the situation that I'm looking forward to. Some bitch gonna eat it. Okay.
All right, I got you.
I'm probably running.
Yeah, really. I mean, I've never well, no, that's not true. I can't say I've never had a fight where people back me up, but yeah. Anyway,
I'll probably go with Ron Artest.
I'm certainly not fighting a guy with giant athletes I don't know.
Yeah, look.
That was
gets it.
As intimidating as like Aaron Donald would be. Yeah, I want guys that are just like no doubt just gonna lose their mind and just
Ron Artest beat up a fan for not even throwing something at him, but
and Ron Artest definitely fits that bill. So
okay. Number 2, showdown number 2. Gong music, please. Which do you prefer to be? A GM on a rebuilding team, player on a rebuilding team, C, a coach on a rebuilding team, or D, owner on a rebuilding team?
D for me, because if you're the owner, you're
calling shots.
House, so like life is probably gonna be all right.
Yeah, being an owner would definitely probably be the easiest thing. Nobody's really gonna come after your neck.
Yeah, no one cares, and I'm not trying to get problems. If you're a player, then you're gonna have to play harder and maybe with worse people around you. So what, injuries or something, coach, everybody's gonna be ragging on you. And the GM, everybody's gonna be on your ass too, especially during draft. Like, I don't have time for any of that.
I'd be the GM. I'd want to be the GM if I had to pick. Owner would be the easiest. GM would be probably the shittiest. But I'd be the GM. That's what I'd rather be.
I would rather be a player because there's more chance of me being traded to a winning team.
Possibly.
You're just gonna get every injury in the book before you get there.
Probably I'll end up like Cam Akers or some shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Just there for the ride. That's all I'm doing.
Get round pick swap, man. It's all right though. Got you out of LA.
It's all good. It's all good.
For an 0-2 team that's about to go 0-3.
Who's that?
Cam Akers.
Who's 0-3?
Vikings.
Minnesota is about to be.
He wasn't on a team that's been 0-3 though.
No, I said he moved from a 1-1 team to an 0-2 team.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't hear that part. All right, showdown number 3. Would you rather be the number 1 overall pick or Mr. Irrelevant?
Mr. Irrelevant, so the expectations are lower, so I can blow them out of the water when I do okay.
Like Brock Purdy.
I'm trying to go on the easy route this time, okay? I'm not trying to deal with all the emotional trauma that comes with being the GM or coach of a building team or dealing with all the pressure that comes with being number 1, okay? I don't have time for it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Mr. Irrelevant so I can have low expectations. And then when I throw for 206 yards and don't throw the ball to the other team, I'm gonna be a Pro Bowler.
All roses, yeah. Can I get a hypothetical of who picks me as number 1?
No.
I'll get a team.
No, you
don't know. Pick any team that's picked number 1 in the last 10 years.
No. But that is a good point because often it's a terrible team who's going to jeopardize your career trajectory forever. So
So
Keep in mind, Cleveland is an option in like 4 of those years.
yeah, no, if it's Cleveland, I'm going to say no. If it's Carolina, though,
they choose quarterbacks like it.
okay organization. They seem to just be around 500 every now and then. They'll have a kind of a bad year, and then every year around, then they'll be in the Super Bowl for some reason. So
yeah, they'll have a 15-1 year and be in the Super Bowl for some unknown reason.
I would I'd go number 1 overall pick. I mean, it's gonna be the most lucrative. NFL careers are short. You might as well get the most money while you can. You're not gonna get that as Mr. Relevant. So
However, though, if you're Mr. Irrelevant, there's more chance of you being a Chase Daniel type of quarterback, be a backup for 14 years,
it is
and just
possible.
keep taking money and not have to play.
It is. I mean, and you know what? Even if you're a practice squad guy, it's like $200 some thousand a year, I think, to be a practice squad guy. Like that's
Is it really?
it's not bad. I mean, you get activated a couple times and you start getting game checks. I mean, yeah, I don't think it go wrong either way.
I don't think you go wrong either, but I mean, number 1 overall, you're going to a poopy team, but you're making more money. You're gonna have to rebuild for a little bit. You won't be, going to any Super Bowls anytime soon.
You got the job security. I mean, a team invests their number 1 overall pick in you. They're gonna ride you out for at least probably 3 years. You have a 5th-year option on your start showing out year 4. That.
Yeah.
I'll go number 1 overall pick. I'll be the contrarian here.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Last one. Last one of the day. Last one of week 12, episode 12. Party with LT or Gronk? I saw Julie's face. She's like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah, I'll take choose glass and goes for underage strippers. I don't need any of those problems.
When I did that, I thought of the glass thing that you told me about LT.
Yeah, he's literally wearing a tinfoil hat, like crawling through the neighborhood because he was paranoid. Like, I don't have time for any of that. Gronk, I mean, as far as I know, he doesn't have a record, right? Like, that's a man who parties. He don't party like LT parties. So, like, I'm gonna take the easy route out and say I want to like live for one, and I would also like to not ever go in the slammer, preferably. Yeah, Gronk seems like he might be a lot of fun. We can talk about that insurance that he's obsessed about.
Oh, AARP or
USA.
Right? Like he was just like out there clipping geraniums in the last commercial. Like, let's go,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I don't know. Watch somebody eat glass or really bad white dude gyrations. I don't know.
I wouldn't
I don't like Gronk, so like
I wouldn't mind watching someone eat glass. It's all of the it's the decision-making skills that comes along with making that choice that makes me nervous because it's going to go south in so many other directions if that's on your roster. So
you're going to be the one cleaning up the mess.
And I would like to see somebody eat glass over more bad white man dancing because we've all gotten our fill of that by like, kindergarten. So like, yes. But
look on the wedding video, you'll see bad white guy dancing.
But do I want to see like a tinfoil hat and like underage girls allegedly? Maybe. No, I'm good.
Allegedly, maybe.
I mean, she was underage, but I don't believe that he got
allegedly maybe.
But I'm gonna throw up allegedly because I don't want to get it wrong and then have somebody. But anyway, she was like 16, I believe.
Okay, that's underage. Yeah, definitely.
I know, so I'm just saying. I'm pretty sure she was. He just wasn't charged with that part, and I just don't have time for any of that shenanigans. But the glass is cool.
Yeah. Okay, that does it for our showdown. I think that does it for the 6-pack, right, Caleb?
Wait,
that is all.
Somebody else said who they were gonna pick.
Yeah, well,
for
Oh,
sure.
okay.
Gronk, definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
It's better than having to clean up the mess of glass, blood, and underage strippers.
Plus,
Yeah,
an
it works.
entire family of
Um,
people with CTE, so they're gonna forget everything that happened in like 30
Yeah.
seconds. It's gonna be like you're partying with a brand new crowd.
I mean,
Gronk, all his brothers and his dad, like they seem like a fun crowd.
Yeah.
For,
I
like,
just feel like I just feel like after 3 hours of partying with them, I'll be dumber by the time I leave. So
Yeah, but at least you'll be alive and not in jail for something really, really bad.
yeah,
That's true.
I guess. Okay, so it's Gronk, white gyrations, and
Go for it.
we're just having fun. That's all it's gonna.
dumbness. Gotcha. I'll be an idiot by the end of the night, but we're all good.
Yeah,
Yep.
do you really want to be in LT's neighborhood on heroin? That one hack drug, that H bomb, whatever, whatever they call it when you can't actually say the word. Thank you, YouTube.
Ah!
Like,
Oh,
do you
yeah.
really
Don't
want some?
get Caleb started. Don't get Caleb started.
I know. Do you really want some speedball? Is that what they call it? With LT, wherever godforsaken place he lived. I mean, at that point, he was homeless half the time, I think. So, no. Again, allegedly, because I don't totally remember because there was so much in that article that I wrote.
Yeah, definitely.
So next week we will be taking a bit of a hiatus because I know you'll miss us, but we can't create this greatness every single week without some time to regenerate.
Week for us.
What?
It's a bye week.
Yeah,
it's bye
we're
week.
gonna do a bye week. And
Poor
so
bye
we
week.
will be we'll keep you updated on what that looks like. And so just don't cry too hard when you see that we are not up next week in our traditional sense.
Please don't cry.
Yeah, don't. And
Love you.
but what you should do is you should like, subscribe, and hit the bell, ding, so that you always know when we do drop something.
Follow on Twitter.
Yeah, and follow on Twitter. Sorry, X. And yeah.
At
Yep.
the forkball.
Yeah. You can even like us on Facebook as well.
I mean, so many opportunities.
So many opportunities to be involved with.
And let us know if you have any showdown questions too in the comment section, because
Yeah.
we always include those when we have them, even if we don't understand them. So
Yep.
we'll give it our best go, and they probably will be better than whatever Ryan comes up with.
On the fly this morning, Julie. All right.
So we will see you next week, and that is a wrap on episode 12.
Stick around for true crime.
Oh my goodness, there's 3.
Then she